there, YouTube, Mr. Gibson Guy here. Thanks for stopping by the channel, as I always say. Today I'm making a photography video, not about a camera or a lens, but just kind of standard procedures of how you go about transporting your photographic equipment. When you go somewhere to shoot, when you're traveling someplace and you want to have your camera with you, there's different ways of doing it. And I have lots of experience with different stuff. Some of you know, if you've watched my videos before, that I kind of collect cameras as well as take photographs with cameras. And I have a eBay store where I sell cameras and equipment. And what happens, because I kind of have a constant inflow and outflow of cameras and gear, and a lot of times I get stuff as a package, which will come with different photographic accessories. One thing I have plenty of is camera straps, and this is just what I grabbed. Just setting this stuff up for a minute for what we're going to look at. But generally there's going to be some sort of encasement or some method of carrying that's going to go along with your camera, and basic camera and lens. And so I've had lots of camera bags of all different sizes. A lot have come and gone out again. Sometimes I sell something with the bag, sometimes I sell something and I throw it in as a bonus, just like zoom lenses these days. You can get those anywhere. A lot of times I'll sell some kid a Canon AE1 and throw in an 80 to 200 zoom that is a Canon mount lens, and they don't even pay for it. It's just taking up space for me. I've got a couple of lenses that I've had up for sale on my site for a couple of years. They're Tamron lenses, which makes them valuable because you can switch mounts on them and put them on any different type of camera. But generally, like if you get a Vivitar, best thing you can do is give it to somebody if they'll take it. And they might say, "Hey Mom, look at this is cool, I got a big lens." So back to the subject. I go through stuff like this all the time. Because sometimes I just have to whittle it down because it starts piling up, getting too much. So let's go back to the beginning about how would you carry your camera around. And here's a little rig. This came recently, not this strap, actually it was a leather strap, but too much trouble to put it on just for the video, so I'm using this clip-on strap. And this is a early 1950s Canon 2D rangefinder, which is a copy of a Leica 3, and it came with this. I don't know if you can see it on here, but it has Canon carved into the front of it. This is the Canon case for it, and it's all leather. It's really nice. I think it's got a little plastic piece in the front, and there's some brass on the buttons, but basically it's all leather. And it even has a little screw thread in the tripod socket that holds this thing into the lower encasement here. But this is from 1950, and this is how they got their cameras around those days. You put the top back on it, button it on the back, and I like keeping the strap at its shortest because it rides pretty high. It's not going to bug you. The longer it gets and the lower down it gets, the more it's going to be bouncing around. Whereas if it's right against your chest and not too far off your neck, it's going to keep it on the upper part of your body where it's not going to be going like this very much, unless you're running around with it, which is kind of dumb. So these work very well. You can't carry a longer lens with it, you can't carry film with it, you can't carry extra batteries with it. It's just for the camera, but for that job it's an excellent system to do that. And it makes you, if you have a rangefinder, it makes you save some money. Instead of saving up to buy auxiliary lenses, you just bring it with the lens that you have and learn how to get your pictures with that. So it's kind of going super old school. And it takes your hat off with it. So that's a basic setup. Now the newer cameras, when you get to the 70s and 80s, they all had cases similar to this, except they were plastic. I don't see as many of those around as I do the leather ones. The leather ones seem to last for several lifetimes. They get a little bit worn down in places, but the leather ones last. I've had a couple Canons that came in with the plastic strap, plastic camera case, and I've sold them with the camera cases. Sometimes they've been kind of falling apart a little bit, but you know, you throw in a free case and nobody complains. But that's a basic way to do it. Now we want to get where we can carry a little bit more stuff. We go to a regular camera bag, and this camera bag is this is actually my wife's camera bag, and it's for her Nikon D5200 digital camera with lens, and this fits in there. You can still carry spare batteries, rechargeable batteries, and a spare battery charger, so wherever you go, you've got your stuff with you. I don't know if it's going to have the microphone, the Rode microphone to it, but that's for video use. And the other ways, you can just carry your camera around on a strap. The problem with that is plenty of problems, because you're exposing your camera to the outdoors and everything. Nothing is protecting it, so it's going to be bouncing around and banging around and clanging around all the time, and you're just kind of asking for trouble when you have one of these on here. I mean, if you were right on the hunt for your photograph, you might want to do something like this, but if you were traveling to get to some place to do photography, that just kind of leaves your camera bouncing around. So it's basic, but expect that you're going to, in the long run, pay a price for it. So something like this, which is relatively inexpensive, these don't cost very much if you shop around a little bit, and they have padding. They give you some, not perfect waterproofing, but they will be water resistant if you get caught in the rain, and you won't have your gear out in the exposure. So these are light, come with a handle and a strap, pretty easy to carry, not too expensive, and you can carry basically a camera and a lens and a few other things. Not very much, but it's more than what you can carry with this, and it's better than just carrying it in the open. So basic camera bags. I've gotten many of these and given them away or sold them as part of a package with deal. So these are popular. Not too much space. All right, the next one here, this is back from my time. This is back in the 70s and 80s, where we had these sort of hard cases, and you could cram all your stuff in it. It had a strap, and you could carry it. Actually, this OM1 here came in this package with this case, I guess, box, looks like. And now I throw straps and stuff in it, all the spare things I get, I put those in there, and I get some of these camera booklets that come with the cameras. I throw those in here. I got a bunch of them, Canon and Minolta and Pentax, all kinds of stuff. But I found the use for this with my Tamron 300mm f2.8 telephoto lens, because this is heavy and it's pretty tough, but still it's got a lot of glass in it, something you want to be careful with. So I have taken a bunch of styrofoam here, the good styrofoam that stays together, not the pieces, the little round things, but I've used that to make a kind of a little cradle for it, and I put this lens in here. If I want to travel with it, I'll carry it separately. And it gives pretty good protection for that. There's not really any good way, other than something like this, to carry around a 300mm lens, not an f2.8 anyway. It's heavy, but it serves the purpose, so I keep that around if I want to go somewhere taking the boat or something like that, out in the river, out through the lakes. Something like this is helpful if I want to carry that lens and get pictures close up of the alligators. So there's a use for that. Now, I also got to use cases a lot because in the mid-1990s, 95 or 96, I left the teaching profession for some time and went out on my own with my airplane doing aerial photography. And I spent the better part of a year doing that. And to do that, there were some requirements. One was that you had to have a Pentax 6x7 camera. And you had to have like the 165mm telephoto lens, and I had a 90mm wide angle lens. And I had a 200mm also. So I had 2 long lenses and 1 short lens in the body, and I had to carry it with something. There we go. Let's open it up here. There we go. And this is where I carried it around. I have some foam on the bottom, foam on the top, and I would put the camera, the lens, and the lens in there. I had dividers in between them and carry them all around like that. And that's how I got my 6x7 around. There. Got to oil those catches. They're not working too well. So, I still have this. I sold all the 6x7 gear 20 years ago. But I still have the case, just kind of reminded me about it. And I don't know if I'll ever have any Pentax 6x7 gear again. Boy, this one little case with that stuff in it, 3 lenses and a body, it weighed a ton. And the other thing we were required to have was a setup in 35mm, because we would shoot transparencies in 35mm and then negatives on 220 film, of course. This is a Nikon, and I got this just shortly before I started flying and doing the aerial photography thing. And this bag held half of my Nikon stuff that I have today. I have my F3 with the MD4 on it, motor drive. I have my FM2 with the MD11 on it. I have Nikon flash units for each camera, 1 on each side here. I had a 35mm, a 85mm, a 50mm, an 80 to 200 f4.5. All Nikkor lenses that went with both of those cameras, and that covered all my needs for for the aerial photography job. I carried around the metal case with the 6x7 and the Nikon bag for the Nikon stuff. Now this, I got this bag, I think when I was 40 years old, so it was 30 years ago. And when I filled up the bag with all that equipment, which was really great, it's got just some crap in it now, but 35, 40 pounds, something like that, around your neck. When I was 40, I could handle it for a while. If I had to carry this bag fully loaded with all the equipment, I can always do it because I still have all that equipment right here. But carrying this around in the 30 to 40 pound range gives you about a 100-yard radius, and you gotta get this thing off. I don't know, I was just switching shoulders again and again and again with it. But it was in the style of the donkey bag, which was professional, what photojournalists use a lot of times. That's what everybody thought we were getting. And this was like a donkey, only it said Nikon on it. And I found it on sale and pretty cheap prices, like 70 bucks or something. And I took it, and I thought it's great. It's got very good padding all around, gives good protection. Nothing's going to protect it if it's, you drop it. But all around, great bag if you want to carry around that much stuff. And I've been doing a lot of shooting lately because of the channel and because I've been going through so many cameras and lenses and shooting film through each one and then showing how the pictures turned out. So I've been doing a lot of photography lately, which is great, but it's about this certain camera or this certain lens or this camera lens combination and things like that. And so amongst all the stuff that I got, one thing that I came across that I don't want to get rid of or make a gift to somebody else is this little kiwi bag here. And this one, it has a little pouch on it that supposedly, well, you could put a small lens in it, a short lens, or that's what I do, is I put a 50 in here, and then I put the camera with a longer lens in the main part, and I can even carry some extra rolls of film with me. That's from the days when we used to use extra rolls. First I tried it with the OM, it's the OM1 and a 35 to 70 f4 Zuiko zoom lens on it, and just like this, that Olympus lens is pretty light, the OM1 is really light, this is pretty light, and I just go like that, and you got your whole setup. You just want to be basic like that. It's also got straps down here. You can put your belt through these loops here and hold it right in place. If you happen to wear a belt, which I usually don't wear a belt, but I have a belt, I think, and it would be right about here. I like it hanging out like this. And this is good because you can actually like change lanes and lenses and stuff like that, where you have this available to you. I'm not changing lenses with this one because that's why I'm using the zoom, because I got the whole thing in one package and I can use it and put it away. Where this really comes in helpful has been I got recently this Contax 139, and the 139, it has, put that up there. I don't know where I put it. Oh, I'll skip it. I don't have the case for it, but the put the 50 millimeter size lens in the bag there, and I have this 200 millimeter red dot, lines up, goes that way. There we go. The whole outfit is, got that back here, and got the 50 millimeter lens for my wider views and the 200 millimeter lens for my close-up views, and it all fits in one package, which I went out tromping around my neighborhood with this earlier this week, one morning, taking pictures early in the morning when the sun first comes up, and I walked around for over an hour, maybe an hour and a half, and I did eventually get to the point where I had to take it off and switch to the other shoulder because it started to wear down on me at about an hour's point, so I had to switch them. But that was it, and I could carry this pack for a long period of time, and it doesn't bother me, and it doesn't have to be the the contacts. Do that because I kind of just made this outfit of the 200 millimeter and the 50 millimeter because these are these Carl Zeiss T-Star lenses and they're expensive, so I'm not going to, I might get like a 35 millimeter f2.8 and go with it, but that would just kind of broaden it to about as far as I'm going to go with buying contacts lenses because they're not cheap. They're really nice lenses to use, and I'm looking forward to seeing my pictures that I shot with it on this roll. So that's going off to get developed very soon, and I'll bring you a video for that. But this is what I found. This, for me, really works as a great camera bag for doing what I'm doing, which is one camera, one or two lenses, and just that's the limit of it. So get something that you can carry. That's the problem with these big bags. These things just make photography no fun after about 10 minutes over your shoulder. So that's my take on all these camera straps. I think these all over the place. I have to give some of those away. Get rid of them because I got stuff all the way. All right. Well, thank you for tuning in. I hope you found something useful on this. Maybe you haven't seen all these camera bags. Some people have seen all of these things. I remember when all these things were new. But for you people newer to film photography or digital photography even, it's good for you to find out about the background of these things. And you can always find them at pawn shops and at flea markets and at what do you call it? Goodwill stores, any place like that, thrift stores. You can find used stuff like this, and you can find a used bag, especially if you find one of these nice Kiwis. They're great. Oh, the other thing, my video camera that you're seeing this video being made through, also folded up fits in here, so I can have film photography and digital video going with me on one outfit. Alright, so that's all for today. Thanks for tuning in. Give me a like and a subscribe, and drop me a message in the comments section below. Until next time, this is Mr. Gibson Guy, and I'm out of here.